let me tell you something. You say you love me like a brother. Well, listen to this, Hulk Hogan. I hate you. I hate your guts. And that's what's gonna be left all over the mat after WrestleMania 5.
So we just watched the first episode of Legends House.
I wasn't really sure what to expect at first, but after watching the very first episode, I am pleasantly surprised and happy to say that I will definitely be watching the series.
Yeah, the show features Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Howard Finkel, Pat Patterson, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Mean Gene, Jimmy Hart, Tony Atlas, and Hillbilly Jim.
Oh yeah.
And that's a cast of characters.
Yes, definitely. For them to get such a wide array of characters to do this first season. Granted, it was filmed 2 years ago because that's when the network was supposed to debut. It's still pretty relevant.
Have you seen any recent pictures of Howard Finkel? Is he that fat today? Because he is huge in this.
I have not seen a real recent picture, but I know from the very first episode, they had him wearing black when he first came in, so it didn't look as bad, but he was playing tennis with Hillbilly Jim, and I believe Jimmy Hart, and I forget who the other person...
Roddy Piper.
Yeah, Roddy Piper was playing, and Tony Atlas and Pat Patterson were sitting up at the table playing cards, and they were just laughing how Howard ran.
Yeah.
Like, he literally had to have weighed at least a couple hundred extra pounds.
He waddles now.
Yeah.
And that was so weird to see.
Yeah, because he's always been very slim.
Yeah, very slim. You're used to him just standing straight up in the ring with the mic, and now he's like, he's got a gut. Like,
yeah, he's got like giant man boobs.
Yeah. His gut ranges longer than his career. Speaking of the cast of characters, I mean, you can already tell by the first episode that Tony Atlas and Hacksaw Jim Duggan are going to get into it. You could see
the tension.
The first thing Hacksaw Jim Duggan said when he walked in the house, he's like, "I'm not going to get along with Atlas. We butt heads."
Yeah, yeah.
And you could tell because I know I would snap in that house listening to Tony Atlas's laugh.
Yeah.
You pointed this out when we were watching it, and I have to wonder too. You think he's retarded?
I hate to say it, but like he sounds like when he talks, he sounds like he's retarded.
Yeah, he's just obviously he's a big meathead.
Yeah.
But yeah, every interview I've ever watched with Tony Atlas, he does seem a little off.
Yeah, it's like he was dropped on his head when he was a child, and like I couldn't imagine him doing anything else besides wrestling. I mean, could you imagine him going to a grocery store? Hey, my name's Tony. Would you like paper or plastic?
He actually kind of seemed to fit in with the guest star of this episode. They kind of sounded like a tag team.
Yeah,
for a second
Gary
there.
Busey.
Gary Busey was on the first episode.
He said when he gets bored, he honks at geese, and the boredom goes away.
Yeah.
Back is back goes on mass destruction. Guess who's here? The bad boys harassment. Testing competition, win the war, that's their mission. Not no mercy, see the ring, start the street. If you don't know, you better find out the war pack. Here to prove a point, number one.
No matter where you are, with thumb rustlers, it's just like being in a wrestling ring. With Hulk Hogan and Rowdy Roddy Piper.
1, 2, 3, pin!
Wherever you are, it's like real wrestling action. With Junkyard Dog and Bullfrog. Thumb wrestle anywhere with Hulk in the Iron Sheik.
Okay, kids, back to class.
Wrestle anywhere with Wrestling Superstars Thumb Wrestlers, new from LJN.
Budweiser presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today, we salute you, Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Designer.
Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Designer.
While lesser designers would shy away from putting 300-pound men in spandex, you embrace it.
Yes, you do.
Pushing fashion to its limits, literally, you pair tights with a cape, a leotard with a mask, leather boots with a thong.
Oh, looking good.
All understated ways of saying, I'm going to rip your head off and look fabulous doing it. So this Bud's for you, Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Guy. Because without you, a man crushing another man's head in his arms would just look silly.
Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Designer.
I like the idea because you're exposing a new generation to people that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Most people remember Jimmy Hart and WCW.
Watching you watch Legends House is kind of depressing because you're over there pretty much soaking your tears. You're like, I feel so old.
Yes,
Because
yes.
these guys are showing all their battle scars and their fake hips. And you're
Yeah,
like, I remember when I was watching these dudes.
Yeah. It's like Jimmy Hart needs the hair club for men now.
Yeah, in the show, they all had to go grocery shopping, and Jimmy Hart gets on one of those motorized scooters, and you're like, yeah, you think it's funny, Jimmy, but you're old enough to use one of those.
Yeah. It's very depressing because I remember Jimmy Hart and a lot of these guys were probably, late 20s, early 30s when they did this stuff. And I was looking through my LJNs last night of all my 80s figures, 90% of them, they're all dead.
That's sad.
Yeah, I go through and I was like, wow, a lot of these action figures I have, all these guys are gone. And I guess in a weird way, I feel like by having these figures, it's kind of like a long-lasting memorial.
Yeah.
As long as I don't forget about them, their families don't forget about them, they're still there. I mean, even though it would kind of be, disturbing and kind of, depressing to me, I would like to meet a lot of these guys and say, hey, thank you for the memories. Thank you for putting your body and your life on the line for me. And I understand that the Hall of Fame is like a celebration of their life, but after the night's over, what do they have? You get a ring and a plaque.
And you go back home. Yeah. Who would be awesome as a new WWE's Legends House?
Bret Hart. Maybe even, to kind of throw in there Jim the Anvil.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
I haven't heard from him in years.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if we could see Razor and Jake the Snake Roberts in it.
Yeah.
Maybe even DDP.
That would be cool. Put Sean Waltman.
Yeah, Sean Waltman in it. Maybe Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash is good with the company.
Yeah, you could have the Click.
Yeah, the Click on the Legends House. That would be a party.
They would take over everybody.
Yeah. They would make everybody's lives miserable.
Yeah. Triple H would come in and get punished again.
What would be monumental? Sting.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I think they could even do like a hardcore Legends House. They could have the Legends of ECW. They could have a WCW theme. Because this one is really 80s version.
Yeah.
This is really 80s and 70s WWF. Because there's no newer legends in it.
Right. Edge.
Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Edge would be cool.
Yeah, if they did, I think the next one will probably be, they'll do like a late 80s version maybe. And then they'll probably do 90s, They may even have guys like, let's say, a former referee.
Well, they can't put Hebner.
Well, yeah. That's what he gets for selling T-shirts out the back of his trunk.
He's a jackass. Him and his brother.
Yeah. Gotta love that. Getting paid millions of dollars a year and get in trouble for selling WWE merchandise out of your trunk. What about guys like Rick Martel?
Okay, yeah.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Lex Luger?
Yeah, you could do Lex
Is he in bad shape?
He's better.
Okay.
I know he had a stroke and was paralyzed from the waist down, but I think he can walk now.
They're really, pushing time here because all these guys are dying. You can't have Boss Man.
No.
He's dead.
Yeah. Yokozuna.
Yep. Unfortunately, Warrior you can't have now.
Yeah.
Macho Man would have never done it.
Yeah,
Speaking of Macho, have you seen the meme online where Vince is looking up at Stephanie with this evil face, and he goes, "Why the hell does my grandson look like Macho Man?"
I love the picture, the meme of Macho. It was probably during the late 80s. It's him wearing a purple tank top with no sleeves, and he's sitting on a pier with the sun and his shades. And it says at the top, it says, No Slim Jims for me. And it has him making like a sad face.
Hogan.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Because a lot of people hate Hogan.
Yeah, I don't know if he can coincide with a house with anybody.
No, because Hogan ruined a lot of people's careers.
Oh yeah, he rubbed people the wrong way.
Yes, he
did. A lot of them.
Yes, he did.
That's why I'm surprised.
But that would make great television.
Well, now that he's back in the company, it's different because he's not around those guys.
How about Stone Cold?
Oh boy,
that would be cool.
That would be really cool.
The Godfather.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Now we're getting into the Attitude Era.
But he has to dress up as Papa Shango.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, he comes in wearing a top hat, painted skull on his face, and beads. He's got to be Papa Shango.
He's got to be a different gimmick every episode.
Yes.
So he'll be
Kama. It comes up as Kama. Farouk.
That would be Ron Simmons.
He just walks in. All you do, the door opens and you hear, damn. have JBL and Farouk.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
You'd have nothing but like freaking beer party.
With Austin too?
Oh God.
I'm just a Booker T. I'm not your sucker. Booker T. Sucker. Wow.